This is what's called an establishing shot. It's meant to show you where I am right now. Okay, can you guess where I am today? Before I jump into what we're actually talking about today, this is my 100th video on YouTube. This is the 100th video I've uploaded since starting this channel. And if you don't want to stick around for a bit of a thank you, which I'm about to do, then jump forward 20 seconds. But if you're still here, I want to say thank you just to everybody who's bothered to watch a video, anyone who's subscribed and anyone who's liked, but a particular thank you to any of you out there who've sent me a comment or a message or have just reached out and got in touch with me just to chat about your aviation goals, your travel goals. It's been awesome seeing the channel grow, and of course I love seeing the subscriber numbers going up, so thank you. But in particular, the thing that's meant the most to me is everyone who's reached out and spoken to me and asked questions. So just a massive thank you. Thank you. I'm so humbled by this experience. I never realised you guys would enjoy the videos as much as you are. So honestly, genuinely, from me to you, thanks. You bloody rock, you guys. You really do.
Sitting on a bar stool,
So why are we back in Sydney again? Well, you know that I was just here a short while ago. You saw the video I put up, the last one on this channel, just about flying the busiest air routes in the world, but back in Sydney again for some meetings today. That's not very exciting, but I did realise on the plane on the way here, I was sitting down and I was just opened my laptop, I was doing some work on the plane, and I realised I had some pretty good footage actually on there from the last flight that I did with Mike on holding patterns. Even though I don't want this channel to be very instructional, I don't want to be the sort of channel that tells you how to do a flight plan, how to fly a flight, what an instrument approach is. I do get quite a lot of questions on it, and I thought, you know what the hell, 100th video. You guys have been asking for it, so sure, I'll do something which is maybe a little bit more, not instructional, it's just a bit more in-depth in terms of some of the flying procedures. Okay, really quickly, what is a holding pattern? Well, it's exactly what you think. It's where the aircraft needs to stop for a certain period of time and not go anywhere. Normally because of traffic, there's other planes trying to do similar things nearby, so the aircraft has to pick a point and basically just fly a bunch of circles around it. Now, one of the common misconceptions about a holding pattern is exactly that, is that it's a circle around a point. It's not actually a circle, it's more of an oval shape. Now, there are two aspects to a holding pattern. There's the entry, what we call the sector entry, and then the hold itself. I need to draw. Here we go. Okay, here is the point that you're holding around. Here is your aircraft coming into hold. And if this is the shape of the holding pattern, there's your holding pattern, there's where you're holding, and this is where you're coming in as an aircraft. Now, you can just go into the holding pattern and start looping around, that's fine, but if you're coming from the other direction, you need to do more complicated maneuvers to actually get into the holding pattern itself. Don't copy what I just did there, by the way, that's wrong. But just know that sometimes you're not coming in directly into the track in, so when you're coming from a different direction, you do a bit of a maneuver, that's called the sector entry, and then the hold is when you're flying round here. Round and round. Sorry, I just realised I did draw you a diagram in the dirt outside a hotel in Sydney, but like I say, I've got half an hour before a meeting and I want to explain this. Here is some footage then from the other week when I was flying with Mike in Tango Delta Sierra in the Cirrus. This is us just about to enter the holding pattern.
3 entries, so in theory we could just go straight in, but in this instance we're going to be holding. In that case we're going to, we'd ops the GPS to hold it at Sierra Alpha. Correct. And then once we overfly, and this is the avionics, so then I'm looking for the to from flag to drop at the point of crossing. Okay, so when at that point, when that drops, then it's a left turn all the way around to an outbound track of 235, and then 235 for 1 minute, and then we're turning back onto our inbound track of 055.
Actually, just to cut away from that, this is actually quite an important point. What I was doing there is always brief the hold. This is for your instrument pilots out there. Always brief the hold as part of your pre-approach checks. So when you're briefing yourself on the instrument approach itself, like the RNAV or the ILS, that's good, but make sure you brief the hold as well, because you never know if ATC is actually going to get you to hold before you enter the approach itself. And if you haven't briefed it, it's just so much more to work out which way you're going to turn, which direction, sector entry. Anyway, just a little tip. Okay, back to the flight.
Tango Delta Sierra, request traffic for descent 2,600.
Tango Delta Sierra, no Alpha, traffic report, commencing the approach.
Tango Delta Sierra, come. Alright, so come back on the power. And I could do this with the autopilot as well. So absolutely. Go heading. That's armed to 2,600, so be it out. I'll give it a bit of help. It doesn't matter that I'm on GPS here. Just use that as a OBS.
Leaving, not
I can look at this flag. Alright, so
There you go, reach right over.
left turn. So now we can go all the way around. Yeah. Second. Then left. Yeah, good. Right. Thank you. Tango Delta Sierra is ready for the approach.
Tango Delta Sierra, no Alpha, traffic 4%.
Tango Delta Sierra.
But sadly, that's where the aviation must stop and my other job, real job, needs to take over. I'm heading off to some meetings now, but I hope you found that useful. If you did, thumbs up would be appreciated. Again, thank you to everyone who's reached out. Make sure you've subscribed if you haven't already. There's a heap of travel coming up this year, actually. I've got a few flights that I've just booked in with that Qantas double status credits offer that they were doing. So we're going to be heading off to some pretty cool locations over the next few months as well. Yeah, still, even after doing this for a little while, you still get some funny looks when you're holding a camera and talking to it on your own in the middle of a crowded... You can't get much more crowded than Circular Quay in Sydney. These are all they're all the people waiting to get onto the Radiance of the Seas boat, which apparently is a big boat docked here in Sydney. It's really hard to spot though. I mean, I don't know where they actually park it here in Sydney. It's supposed to be quite large, but